Bonjour, hello everyone. I'm Nata, host of the Nata PR School podcast. You're a successful entrepreneur or marketing manager and you're about to launch a new product or service, or you've been selling your goods for quite some time, but you want to learn how to increase your visibility, get known, and reach more clients? At Nata PR, we deal with real clients every day and we'll teach you simple, fun, and honest PR solutions. You'll learn easy steps to combine PR to social media right now. Keep listening and let's get started. Bonjour, hello, and welcome to this 44th episode of the Nata PR School podcast, The Laws of PR and Marketing, rule number 6 today, the law of compound effect. This rule is literally at the core of what we do. It's the key, really, of everything we do. I love this rule. It's also true in marketing, but it's different in the sense that in marketing, you will have an ad campaign that's linked to that to build this compound effect. It doesn't work exactly the same way, but the result is the same. So you want the compound effect because this is how you're going to be known and people will know about you. So all of us, we know the compound effect. If you are saving money, you have money in the bank. So you understand what is the compound effect, making money on your savings. But it's also a very powerful law in communications. How do you put this law in practice? Let me give you an example so you'll understand how we do that. It's easy to understand with money in the bank, but it's a different strategy when you are thinking of using this law in communication. A client one day gave us the mandate to promote the advantages of PVC windows. Now, you can think that PVC is something really old, not interesting. Well, look again, it's super interesting. Some people have a bad perception of what PVC is, so that was our mandate to change this perception as well. And sometimes we think that only wood or natural materials are environmentally friendly. So we think we're making a responsible choice if we choose wood. Well, PVC can be a very interesting choice. So this is why we had these 3 angles. So angle number 1 to create this compound effect was, did you know that PVC windows are green? I'm not going to talk about it in this podcast, but yes, PVC windows can have a green angle. Number 2, did you know that PVC windows can be super creative and trendy? It can be a trendy choice because you can create the window in the form of your dream, something you cannot do with wood. Or maybe, but it would be maybe more expensive, or maybe sometimes super difficult. So point number 1, angle number 1, did you know that PVC windows are green? Point number 2, you can use PVC to be super creative and trendy. So that was point number 2. Point number 3, PVC referred and proposed by our experts. So we had the expert angle, that was our point number 3, angle number 3. So we chosen an architect who swore by PVC windows on all his projects. So he had a very interesting way of talking about PVC windows and why he was choosing PVC windows. And it was interesting to tell his story because he was an architect with many years of experience. So we were using him as an expert. So then when we had chosen these 3 angles and that they were accepted by our client, we decided to then have different press release for each of those 3 main angles. And we created, obviously, a calendar. This is why we call it strategic communications and a compound effect. I don't know if you follow me. So these 3 angles really were helping us tell a story in a different way. Maybe you've heard me say that before, but you should know that when you send a press release, no one is expecting it. There's no journalist or influencer waiting for your press release. And you know that some of these people receive sometimes hundreds of press release. So it doesn't mean that if nobody's reacting when you're sending your press release that they are not interested. Sometimes they might react only to your third press release. This is why it's so amazing when you have the luxury or the resources to build this and work with this law of the compound effect, because then you can really start building and sending more information. This is how you will attract the attention of top influencers, bloggers, or top journalists. And really nothing is more effective for something like PVC. It's a subject that's not so easy to promote. So having multi-point messaging, different angles, acts, sometimes we call those axes of communication. This is how you can create a compound effect. And I like to ask my friends if they've ever heard of certain brands that we work for. And if their answer is yes, I ask them where they saw it or how they heard about that brand. And if their answer is kind of vague, they don't know. So they will tell you, well, I think I read about it, I heard about it, I saw it somewhere, I heard about it. I think there's an influencer that spoke about that product. Then this is when you know that the compound effect works, because they've seen it somewhere, they've heard it somewhere. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. You might be lucky, but it's really rare. So there's a real balance between getting people to talk about a brand, or, the founders, the people behind the brand, the products of that brand. And there's this fine line where, when should we talk or send information about a product? I love that. As you can hear, this is when you can really start planning and be strategic of what information you're sending out there. And this is how you start planting the brand in people's mind. There's nothing like smart repetition with relevant information for applying the law of compound effect, really. I love doing that. This is part of the work that we do at the agency that I find the most interesting. In marketing, as I told you, it's a little different, but the same law of the compound effect exists. It's going to be created differently because you're going to choose to do a campaign on different platforms maybe. And it's quite difficult today because there's so many choices. You can decide to do a Facebook ad campaign, AdWords, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or, what are you going to do? Is it just online advertising? But where, what, how, when? Difficult. So here's my little secret for you today. So PR is your tool for adding the famous organic part to any of your ad campaign. So if you don't have a huge budget, you can really complement your campaign with a PR part in your marketing plan. Think about Starbucks. They really built themselves from the ground when they first started and nobody knew them with PR. Even today, Starbucks doesn't do massive advertising campaign. They do, but not as much as, large corporations like them. They really build themselves on PR, and PR is a key in everything they do. PR is still the least expensive part of your marketing plan. So don't let your new digital marketing consultant who's not even 30 years old tell you that PR is expensive. It's not true. And that there are fewer traditional media outlets anyway, and it's an old tool. Yeah, it's old school. It's not at all. This is totally false. It's really not knowing what's happening out there. Just think about, the New York Times and all the major magazines, Vogue, Elle, any top publications in your country. They really went digital a long time ago. And as you know, probably if you've heard me say that like my partner and I, we've really analyzed our results and calculated many ROI, the famous ROI, return on investment, cost per thousand. So PR is still cheaper than a customer acquisition campaign. And well, as you can see, I've spent a lot of time thinking about what we do at the agency since our top value is serving at the highest level. It was crucial for me to be able to answer my clients' questions because we are their partner. We're there to help them succeed. So to me, it's really crucial. I will never sell a service just to sell a service. Like, I'm not going to sell an influencer campaign to any of my clients if I don't think they will gain and have results through it. This goes against our deepest values, and it doesn't fit with our long-term plan any more than it fits with creating partnership with the brands we serve. We love to serve, we love to help, so I'm not going to sell anything just to sell something, really. So we're committed to being useful, just like I hope this podcast proves to you that this is what we want to do. We want to serve you. We want to help you. I want this to be useful. So I hope you've learned something today and that this law of the compound effect is making you think about what you do, what are the strategies you're using to promote your product or your services or your company. So if you're interested in talking your thought process further, so you want to talk about this law, please sign in for a free consultation and I'll be happy to talk to you. And I'm enjoy when you book a meeting with me, and I love to discover what you do and who you are. So hopefully you'll be there next week. À la semaine prochaine. Hey, you want to learn more about how to implement PR strategies? Head on to natapr.com and get on our list. You will also receive the Nata PR model on how to create a successful PR campaign. If you want to become a client, just send us an email to nata@natapr.com. Talk to you next week. À la semaine prochaine.